Hello, Lolas. As you guys know, Ziggy is not fully completed, so you see the back of his head is looking crazy. It's because it's not completed, okay? Okay. I'm going to put him on a little hat so that we can, just not worry about it throughout the video. But someone asked me to do a video on, like, starting a silicone doll business, and I'm like, it's funny because I always say, for some of us, this is a business. You know what I mean? For some of us, this is a hobby. For some of this, it's like, I forget what some people call it, but it's like we make income off of our hobby, right? But it's still really like a hobby, so to speak. Some of us, we're very passionate about what we do. But at the end of the day, if you're going to do it for full time and as a business, it's a business. But it sounds weird when someone say, how do we do a silicone doll business? Because I guess because I'm so in it, like as a collector, so it's kind of hard for me to just be like, oh, it's just a business. Like, it's like somebody saying it's just a doll. So anyway, without all of that and saying that, you would treat it like you would any other business. You got to know that the first couple years, and I'm still learning because I started and then I just kind of decided to go back to work. But you got to know that within your first couple years, your first year at least, you're going to be stacking up inventories, material, supplies, and that's a constant rotation when you're doing silicone for sure. Also with vinyl, you're always adding things. Some stuff you no longer use anymore, so you're gonna have losses and you're gonna have profits. But you have to know that your first year is going to be more of building and investing in your business and investing in yourself. Rather, that's taking classes and courses on, painting, sculpting, molding, pouring, whatever it is that you want to do. Which parts you want to learn about the business and, the services that you want to provide or the product that you want to provide. You're going to have to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, then don't expect much, because with every business, you have to invest. So, some of the things with this hobby in particular, because I feel like it's a very emotional hobby, it comes with a lot of other things that's not so much like when you're selling a purse or a pair of shoes or whatever. This product is very unique. It's handmade art, so there's no right or wrong ways necessarily to do things, and there's no set guidelines for this. So one of the things I definitely like to say that I see a lot of newer people get caught up in is, like, don't get caught up in the hype. Like, yes, celebrate your wins, be thankful for the encouragement and stuff like that, but just know that within this hobby, a lot of people, they prey on the newer people, newer artists, especially for the prices, the lower prices, and you get all these new friends and stuff like that. And you have to be, very careful with that, because that can stunt your growth. And I'll tell you how it stunts your growth. When you get to this point where, a lot of people come to you. I remember seeing an artist posting, like on her storyline, like, oh, some of these artists that people are going all about, is their work is not really all that and stuff like that. And it's like, it's just a name. My work is as good as theirs. I think that's a bad approach to do publicly, because it makes it sound like just some jealous, bitter person that dolls aren't selling, so now they're going to squat on somebody else. So you don't want to fall into that. And you also, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you're great, your work is better than so and so and so. And I'm guilty of, like, really, like, even if somebody's telling the truth, I'm kind of like halfway believing it, because I don't want to get the big head, and I don't want to get in that mindset of, oh, I'm better than this or I'm better than that. I just want to be better than the last doll that I did. You know what I mean? I want to be a better me, and I don't want to be like nobody else. I don't want to be the next so-and-so and the next da-da-da-da. So you want to do that. Also keep in mind, and I know this is more for artists and a lot of you guys that's been out here for a while. I'm talking from my personal experience and also from artists and sculptors that I've talked to along the years and the stories that I've heard from them as well and witnessed it happening to them. Collectors, collectors will pin you against another artist. And it really doesn't help your business at all, and it doesn't help you. Collectors will talk about another artist to you and tell you how all their mistakes and flaws and what they don't like about their work. Just keep in mind that when they get through talking to you and they've used you up for all the benefits because you've so giggly and hee kiki that they've talked about this other artist and it made you feel better about yourself, that you're going to be the one they're talking about next. As soon as they find another artist that feeds into their, sickness and their toxic behaviors, they're going to do that to them. I've seen so many like collectors that have been in my inbox, like really trashing an artist or talking about their character or personality. And then the next thing you know, they're sharing their their posts and stuff and saying how amazing the artist is and all this. I'm like, wait a minute, sis, you was just saying you don't really mess with them like this, da 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 da. So it can be very messy in the best way. And I, unfortunately, because I am all in, like when people say they're 10 toes in, I'm 10 toes, 10 fingers, eyes, ears, nose in, because I started out as a collector. I started out as a opinionated collector on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. I talk. That's what I do. I give commentary. I do reviews, so I kind of insert myself in places where necessarily isn't necessarily my business per se. It's my business when I was a collector, so to speak. I don't do it as much as being an artist. Since I've started trying to be an artist or painter or whatever you want to call me, crafter, whatever. But I still do it from time to time. But the best way, and this is just my personal advice, is if you look at some of the most successful business models or the ones that were successful, maybe not as successful as they were, and you can learn from that too, is they were pretty much out of the media, social media. They were out of the forums. You don't see them like that. You don't see them interacting, so much. They show their work. They advertise their work. They put their work out there. They put their for sale stuff out there. They sell and they go. You don't see them like really, really active in the community. And it's not to say that those that are active is bad people, but it keeps, for you personally, your business thriving without any type of drama, stigmas attached to it, or you being stressed out because you getting all these stories and hearing all these different things that's happening behind the scenes, and you're carrying these burdens. So if you want to do a successful business, my thing is keep it clean cut, stick to the business, stay in your own lane, only speak when it's pertaining to you, and some stuff doesn't even need to be addressed. Like, sometimes I see like in forums where collectors might be side shading, or they'll do little side remarks. They don't say the name per se, but certain people in the group might understand who they're talking about, all these subliminal messages and stuff like that. I just braze right past that, because that type of stuff, that's not your business. That's not your area. That's for collectors to hash it out and do their talking and let them do their thing. You have to keep it very business. This hobby is a lot of women. It's a lot of women in this hobby, and it is some men in it, but it's mostly predominantly women, and women from all over the place. And some women, we all have character flaws, right? So you're dealing with all of that. So you want to just keep it really business. As far as like pricing and all that stuff, now that's just, the social aspect of the business. As far as pricing go, you want to price according, yes, you want to do a market analysis and see what everything is selling for in these categories. You want to see where you fit in that category. So if your dolls, you feel like your dolls are like still on the beginner level, so you want to look at what the beginner level artists are kind of charging and what's selling and what's the market price range, and then you want to price yourself for what you feel is worth. But always, no matter what, consider what you spend, and make sure you have a little profit. Even if you don't have much of a profit, make sure you have a little profit. You know what I mean? When I first started out selling, I just sold my like practice pieces for like $75, $150. I was doing that for a long time, and then I went up to, I think, 300, and then I was at 400 for a very long time, and I was at 500 for a very long time for ball babies, because I never really rooted vinyl, and this was with vinyl. And then I stayed at 500 for a very long time, and then I went to 800 for my ball babies, and that's where I kind of stayed. And I haven't went up really from that with ball babies, because I feel like they're bald. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, unless it's a bigger baby or it's like absolutely gorgeous. And when I do that, a lot of times I try to find someone to root that baby for me. But occasionally I get frustrated and I sell it. And so I'll sell it around that same price. So you want to price your work accordingly. You don't want to price too low, but you don't want to price too high. It's always good to, start and gradually work your way up according to your skill set. Now, if you're a natural born artist and you come out the gate with some fabulous stuff and your work is just amazing, you don't have to start at no lower price. Start at where you feel like your work is worth. And then you go from there. You build your audience. You do your however you feel like marketing. Everybody's marketing style is going to be unique to them. But you do your marketing. You get your work out there. And then, once you do that, it's all the way up from there. And just remember, as you grow your clientele and you grow your customer base, remember why they liked you. If it was your customer service, the quality of your product, the attention to detail that you do. Don't get the big head and start slacking off because you want to make stuff faster or you want to shortcut and stuff like that, because you will lose them fast as you gain them. So we have to remember to stay consistent. Everybody's going to have a bad day. Every artist, or sculptor is going to have something that, the crowd doesn't like. So don't worry about that. Even sometimes you might have something that end up being messed up or it come back or something like that. Just remember that everybody has had their day. Even if it's not publicized or talked about, the best of the best have had bad days, okay? And just keep it moving. You just got to get back up, correct your wrongs, and keep going. Some people, you just can't get it right with them, and it ain't gonna be no matter what you do. So you just keep it moving. The other thing is, a lot of people like, I don't know where to sell at. Where do you have the most exposure? Where are you people you're interacting with most? If you have the most following on Facebook, then sell on Facebook. If you have or you can still sell on like eBay. I haven't used reborns.com because I'm a creature by habit and I am used to eBay, so I just use eBay. I haven't went to reborns.com. Everybody keep like, go there. I haven't went there yet, but a lot of people speak highly of it. But if that's what you want to do, but your main presence is on Facebook, then share your link, put it there so you can have all your information there, and share your links on your Facebook. If Instagram is your major platform where you have more followers there, then you can do it there. You can do it in all places, but make sure you go heavy on the areas where you're going to get the most exposure and people are going to see your work and see, your dolls for sale. Starting a YouTube channel is, not a must, but it is a nice vehicle for videos, when you want to do like changing videos or, showing the movement or, posability and flexibility and all that stuff. Is great for that. I will always say that for the most part, a lot of collectors look to other collectors. So, there's that. And we really can't have any control over once the doll leave us. So sometime a collector may, be in love with your work, but they may not show it in the best light. And you're just going to have to brace yourself for that. And sometimes you have collectors that's amazing at displaying your work and showing your work, and that's great. And so one thing that I'm learning, and I'm kind of, still on the cuffs with this, is that some pictures, sometimes my customers share pictures, and I love that customer to pieces, and I love that they love the work, but the picture might not be as flattering to my work, and so I may not reshare it. And I learned that sometimes I get messages like, why don't you ever share my babies, or why don't you ever share my work? And so I feel really bad about that. So at one point I just stopped sharing my customers' work, like pictures. I only share my pictures on my page and stuff, because people feel like it's favoritism or whatever. And so, but recently I've shared a couple of my customers' pictures that I've liked, and I'm like, hey, this is my business. I have to protect my brand, and so I'm gonna share some of the photos here or there, but it's not to take away the appreciation and the love that I have for my customers, because I love every single person that have invested their hard-earned money into me because they didn't have to. It's 1,000,001 artists out here, and it's 1,000,001 sculptors out here nowadays, and I am not the only one. I am not the gatekeeper of black skin tones or biracial skin tones. There's other artists out here that's doing amazing jobs on those skin tones and everything. So when someone decides to shop with me, I want them to know that I appreciate them. And that's the thing that a lot of artists and sculptors need to understand, that yeah, you might be great within all rights, but at the same time, you're not the only one that's great. So and when you treat your customer like you're doing them a favor, you don't appreciate them, you don't even say thank you, or you talking to them like they must just wait on you like you're the gods of art, it's, you can't do that. You got to keep in mind that you're not, people will move on, and people, can go to someone else. I mean, there's some people that's going to buy from people regardless, no matter how they treat them. But that's, that's not in the most case. So, what else? Like I said, be unique with your work. Like I said, it's 1,000,000 artists out here, but at the same time, people go to certain artists for their style. So, don't be a watered down version of someone else's style. Don't follow somebody else's creative flow, like to a T, because of the fact that when you do that, you got to wait for them to make the next move before you come out with something else. Use your own creative thought process, even with your marketing style, even with the way you photograph your babies, the way you display your babies. Everything you do, let it be unique to yourself so that you can continue going on and on. I see certain artists that have like adapted a whole nother artist style to the T, and their work just looks like great value compared to the brand name. You know what I mean? So you don't want to do that. You want to be unique within yourself, and I think that draws in people to you and your product, because a lot of times we say we don't, but we do tend to attach personalities and professionalism and customer service and all that to when we buy from a certain person or whatever. So like I said, I am saying these things. I know that I've made some of these mistakes along the way, because, there are some people that won't buy my dolls because I am sassy out the mouth. I got a slick tongue. You know what I mean? I've accepted that, but I also have a following that love me for that same slick mouth and sassy tongue. So I'm being authentic to myself, and those that don't like that, they're not my customer base, and I can't worry or focus on that. And that's something easy to say, but it's hard to do when you're sitting here and everybody's eyes are on you. So, but it pays off if you just be your authentic self, because I've even given directives to people and seen them like roll it out word from word and verbatim, and it comes across like the energy just feels fake, and your audience will feel that too. So you gotta be your authentic self in everything you do. Even with collectors, like there's collectors that just like have a massive collection, but I feel no soul to their collection. Like, I don't feel no personal attachment, no life to their collection, if that makes sense. It's like they're just buying because they got it. It's like, you know, I always say this, it's like, it ain't tricking if you got it. That's what it makes me, you know, the energy that it gives. So it's not that big of a deal. There's a young lady in my group on Facebook, and she has a mixture of dolls. And, you know, although some of them may not be my taste, I absolutely love every time she posts. Like, I try to comment on every single one that she posts. And people may be like, why is she always saying that and this and other? Because her energy gives that she's very passionate about this hobby. And I love that, because that matched my energy. So I really love that for her, and I love that for the community. And I wish that we had more genuine people out here, because I feel like it'll be less, you know, so much of competition and all that stuff. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Okay, so we talked about social media, marketing, pricing. In between that, those were topics in there. Don't get stuck on the bubble gum. And what else? Networking. You know, there are some artists and sculptors that network with each other. That's fine. I prefer to stay out of the network. Like a HMO, I don't want to be in a HMO. No, I don't, you know, I think networking is nice. It's nice to know people in places and have, you know, access to information and stuff like that. I just feel sometimes for me it's a little bit hard, because I'm not one that wants to share everything that I do, and there's other artists that love to share step by step and, you know, feel like they know it all and stuff like that. And I'm just not one of those. So if I connect with someone and they share something with me, they're expecting me to share something back, and I'm giving them the blank face. Like, okay, thanks, boo. You know what I mean? Like, so I just kind of try to avoid those situations. But it is nice to still, like, it's still nice to be celebrating other people, other artists' wins, other sculptors' wins. So, like, if I see beautiful baby painted by an artist, I'm no stranger to hitting the love button and typing in there, oh, this baby is beautiful, your work is amazing, wow, stunning, breathtaking. Like, I've seen some babies, and I will post that, I will comment that, I don't care. It doesn't take away. And I don't share other artists' work necessarily all the time, because that ain't my thing. I ain't finna market for them. They ain't paying me. I believe in getting paid. So now, I didn't start out that way, but I feel like if I'm gonna be a promoter, pay me for my marketing. You know what I mean? But sometimes the baby's just so gorgeous, I just have to share it. So, or I really love something about it, and I'll share that part of it. You know, it's crazy, because sometimes I can be in love with, like, hands and feet on a baby, and then it gets to the face and I'm like, it's a loss for me. You know what I mean? But I'm going to give credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? So it's okay for that. I think that's great. I think it's distasteful when other artists just, like, literally rip other artists to shreds and to pieces. Like, okay, yeah, I give my commentary, my critique on certain sculpts and stuff like that, but I am not gonna sit here and post XYZ, you know, Sally Bob doll that she painted and just, like, go rip, you know, point out all the flaws, like, sort of thing. You know, I've had my days, okay, like I said, but me now, the more mature me, I try to stay away from that. I mean, sometimes when we're live, we get carried away and we laugh and we talk about stuff, and it, you know, it is what it is. But yes, so I think that's it for now. I hope that helped. I know as far as silicone classes, the only person I know right now that does silicone painting classes is Susan Gibbs. As far as reborn painting classes, I don't know anymore who does those. So I don't know. But there's that. And you know, of course, we have plenty places if you to buy kits from to build up your stock and your inventory. You have MacPherson, you have Irresistibles, you have Trueborns, you have Dolls by Sandy, and some other ones. You know, the overseas ones, I don't really know the names like that, but those are some of the ones that I know of for you to buy, like as far as like reborns and vinyl, and some of them do silicone and vinyl. Other places I buy silicone blank kits from that you can just go to the website and just easily click, of course, is Silicone Studio. You can go to siliconestudio, the number 2.com, or siliconestudio.com. You know, Maria Lynn Grover also sell kits, so blank kits, silicone kits. I like dealing with the websites and going straight to the websites when it comes to my blanks, because it doesn't seem like they're picking and choosing with politics when you're dealing with, you know, the individuals. But I will buy from an individual if I, you know, I'm familiar with them in their work, or at least they have a reputation and I don't feel like I'm going to get scammed or whatever. But that's it. That's all I got. Thank you.